And we're back on the air. Apologies for having to disappear there, but it was looking pretty bad on my side. It wasn't giving you guys the greatest quality to watch, and I wanted to make sure that this race was seen very well. So we're back here for the tail end of qualifying. Soup, you've been watching the whole time since I've been resetting things, and it's looking much better on my end now, so thank goodness for that. Give us an update of what's been going on while we've been away there.
Yeah, so we've had some times come in. Yarlo now P2, Speedbarry in the Mercedes getting an excellent time to P3s. He's jumped ahead of Roy and ahead of Lucas, so they've got some work to do. But still, Michael with a brilliant 106.4. It's looking pretty hard to beat. And we're coming into the last round of qualifying laps very, very shortly. So I think it's teed up to be a really, really exciting climax to qualifying.
Definitely so, and the whole field, the only driver not to set a lap time yet is Nardi for Vodafone Giants, but he's out in softs at the moment as well, so that's an interesting choice. But the 14 drivers that have set a lap time, as I mentioned in the first part of the stream, under a second covering the field. That's just how close it's been. It's been absolutely incredible to see. A couple of quick people already back in the chat. Actual Vision Luke giving the yo-yo-yos. Hello. Sam giving a shout to yourself, Soup. So Sam giving you a wee shout out there. So there you go. You got your fans joining you as well this evening. Just having a look through here. I think the Williams boys are playing Slipstreams again. Let's have a wee check. Yeah, they are indeed.
They're not the only ones. They're not the only ones. Ferrari were doing it too. I was noticing down the main straight. I think Chocolate was giving Yarno a cheeky little toe down towards turn 1. He's now pulled out of the way. Speedbarry's finished. He's given up. So I think Yarno's in the middle sector right now. What can a Team Vitality driver do in this last part of qualifying? Coming through the last sector now. Lucas has been disqualified from the session for being parked up in a dangerous location, and that's a new one for me, honestly. I think he was pulled up on the edge of the track through turn 4, I think is what I saw.
Wow.
Really interesting. Okay.
That is definitely not what he needed, because he was up in 4th place there. That's going to punt him at the back of the field. Yarno is unable to improve. He was 5/100ths down on improving on his lap time, so it's looking good for the Williams boys at the moment. They're using each other to good effect here at the moment. We've got Roy coming through. Lee Finley's put himself up in a 3rd. Good lap time there from the Scotsman, putting himself into 3rd in the Haas. But here comes Roy up towards the line, and they're both heading for pit lane, the Williams, so they're back right out of it, and no wonder, because everyone else is all finished. So it's Michael on pole, Yarno 2nd, Lee Finley with that last gasp lap into 3rd place, Speedbarry in 4th, Roy will be in 5th for Williams, so 1-5 for Williams there. Sean in 6th for FAP, Jocolat in 7th, Clarkey 8th, Dawidos 9th, Hugo rounds out the top 10, all on super soft tyres. And then we've got H-Eagle, Daniel, Slimbo, Nardi, and the disqualified Lucas, which is just insane, because he was up in 4th position before that happened. He would have gone down to 5th when you take in Lee's time, but that puts a double race winner in this tournament all the way at the back, Soup. This could be very interesting.
Yeah, of all people to be disqualified, you gotta disqualify one of the quickest people on the grid. Lucas now going to have to fight his way from the back. However, he will have free tyre choice, but he's going to have to work his way through an immensely competitive field. Here we go, they're rounding out the qualifying order here. Michael takes pole by a 1/10 of a second over Jarno Oppmer. Then we have Lee in P3, Speedbarry in P4, and we have Roy P5, Sean in P6, Chocolate in P7, Clarkey in P8, Dawidos in P9, and Hugo rounding up the top 10. Eagle from Daniel, from Slimbo, from Nardi, and Lucas with a disqualification. So the two VGIA boys not having a good day, and I think this is going to be an interesting one to see how they get on from the back of the grid.
Definitely so. Lucas has actually just put a big massive F in the chat as well, so I think he realises what's going on. Probably didn't expect it. He's maybe just moving out of the way, trying to just retire out of the way or something, or make sure he didn't impede anybody, but parked up for too long, and the virtual Charlie Whiting decided, nah, not happening.
I think what he's done there, he's pulled up, he's gotten thirsty, gone to grab himself an iron broom, and disqualified. I think that's exactly what happened there, and Lucas knows it. But he's going to be starting from the back of the grid.
Oh, I
But,
did see the comment. I did see the comment back up. The Celtic Dream Team on the comms, which I'll take. But yeah, Iron Brew is always the choice for me normally, especially when I don't have any hype energy drinks. Plug, wink, wink. Lucas saying he didn't see any timer, so maybe he wasn't looking. So not ideal for Lucas, but it's going to give us plenty to talk about because we've got a double winner this season, winner last time, a very quick driver in F1 as well, who's going to have to work his way through from the back of the field on a track that's got a very short lap. I think it's the further fourth shortest track in the calendar, and obviously, you know, 2 DRS zones, there is overtaking opportunities here. That's the good thing for him. So we're in for a heck of a race. Curly's just mentioned the track, so we did see him join during qualifying, but he couldn't get on track. So we've got 16 drivers, and he is stuck on default setup, so that's going to make his life even harder. Top 10 on the Super Softs as they qualified. No surprises that everybody outside the top 10 is not on the red mark tyres. We have got Eagle, Daniel, Slimbo are all on the soft tyres. Nardi's gone for the medium, the hardest tyre possible. Lucas has gone for the soft tyres, and Curly Worley on that default setup at the back there is on the mediums. That just makes his life doubly hard here, being stuck on a default setup. But it's going to be interesting. We're obviously going to be looking out for Lucas coming through, but there's a lot of quick drivers. You know, everybody, top 14 were covered by, I think it was under a second. Nardi was just over a second down on qualifying, just purely because he was on the harder compound soft tyres, trying to see if he could get in the top 10. So we know there's a lot of quick drivers out here, Soup, and we know this is going to be an extremely fun race. If you had to put your money on somebody, who would it be?
And I'm going to have to go with Michael, honestly. Looked unbeatable in qualifying. I think he's just going to launch off the line and just disappear into the distance. But I think Jarno's going to give him a run for his money, honestly. It's the last race of the season, and I think everybody's just going to be going hell for leather for the final honours, I think. And Brazil's always been a great race to round off a season in.
Definitely. So, I mean, you know, with that lap time, but Jarno did get within a tenth of it. We've seen Jarno do some really good racing as well, some great lap times too. So I think we're the top two. I'll be interested to see if my fellow Scot Lee Finlay can stick with these two at the front. He's been improving ever more, so I want to see that. Keep an eye on Roy for him coming through the field, and of course Lucas down at the back. We'll also keep an eye on Curly Worley's progress and how he does being stuck on that default setup, and see what he can do from that as well. So we are ready for the final round of the AOR Team Esports event. It's round number 9. We're here at the Carlos Pache circuit at Interlagos. Round number 9 is underway. Seems to be stuck. There we go, finally. It's a big delay. We're going on the way now in Lagos, and Jarno is attacking straight away, and straight into the lead goes the S2V driver. He's gone now off the inside line down the hill, and you can see Lee Finlay's held on. There's a car going wide in the background through too as he come through the curve of the Sol for the first time, and Jarno's got the jump and into the lead ahead of Michael coming down to turn number 4 for the first time. All line astern, jostling in poor position in the background. Speed Barry's lost a couple of places already. He's already down 2. Jocolat's down 3 as well, as everyone comes up towards Ferradura for the first time up the hill. Lucas already up 3 places in his battle through the field. He's battling with the H Eagle now into turn 8. Looks to the inside line, but the German cuts him off at the pass, and he's going to have to think better off it. It's pretty much 1 by 1 through here, but Hugo has ran wide. He's fighting with the Ferrari there, as Jocolat coming up to the Bico de Pato, and Lucas going up the inside there of H Eagle. Can he do anything down the dive through Megulo? He's going to have to back out. He's got Daniel in behind him as well, so he needs to be careful of an attack from behind. But back up front, Jarno leads as they come towards the end of lap 1, rising up that 10% gradient hill towards the finish line. Michael in second, Lee Finlay holding on to third, Roy's up to 4th, Sean up to 5th, and Barry down 2 places, down to 6th place as we complete lap 1. But Lucas is already up 3 places in the first lap as he makes his way through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. What a weird start. It took abnormally long to get the line, but a brilliant start from Jarno. Absolutely hooked it up off the line. I did notice, by the way, Nardi and Curly came together in turn 1, and they were left sitting, facing the wrong direction in turn 1, so they're down 15th and 16th. Lucas making his way up through the field, trying to get through this traffic now. Well, there seems to be a train building up behind Eagle. He's got Chocolate, Lucas, Daniel, and Slim are kind of in there as Lucas trying to force his way through a little bit there. Having a look on the inside of Chocolate again, with just no way through. I just having a look at Sean now making his way past Speed Barry. So Barry's not having a good opening. He's trying to stick back down the inside again. They come to blows to their right hander, and Clarkey says, "Thank you very much. I'll have that." They're coming through side by side to that left hander, and Sean somehow still holds on to it on the inside line. All sorts of stuff happening behind as well as Lucas sticks up the inside, or tries to come around the outside, should I say, of Chocolate, and now they're running down towards turn number 1. It'll be a real old slipstream train here as Jarno sets the fast lap of the race as he tries to build a gap over Michael. Keep an eye on Hugo. Chocolate tries to come up the inside of Hugo, and Lucas is going to say, "What am I going to do here?" Chocolate goes up the inside. Lucas going sideways. He gets dived bomb by Daniel. Come from behind us, come to blows. Hugo's around in the background, and that's absolute chaos already in this final round.
Absolutely crazy. We're 3 wide going into turn 1 there. We just jumped on board with Lucas because the broadcast camera was too far away, and you can see the Red Bull of Daniel sneaking up the inside. The Ferrari was on the outside. The McLaren was sticking there as well, and Hugo's the unlucky one, gets spun around, drops down to 14th place, 3 seconds behind the battle. Speedbarry got by on Sean eventually. Sean managed to hold off Clarkey. It was Sean defending. Speedbarry must have chucked it up the inside into turn 8 and then done it again into turn number 10 as well. And the wee comment there from Demon, not too happy. He had a wee bit of a wee bit where we last time out with a possible illegal overtake from Speedbarry in America last week, but we seen it on stream. He basically cut the corner as Hugo gets a 5-second stop goal penalty, the first penalty of the race, and round as well, and DNF. He's out. So we already have a DNF from the race.
Oh, battle for the lead. Started to cut across. Michael tried to come around the inside, and here they go. Michael versus Jarno. This is going to be an interesting battle. Williams versus Team Vitality, pretty much. Here we go. Michael on the outside with the DRS. It is lap 3. DRS is enabled. Here comes Michael around the outside. He's got the move done, and he retakes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix completely out of the blue. But the DRS just helped him drag himself up. It's really effective on Brazil.
Definitely so. Curly Wurly with a 3-second time penalty down at the back, but Michael retaking the lead from Jarno with DRS down the back straight into turn 4. But Lee Finlay and Roy are sticking with them. It's these 4 that are pretty much on their own. They've got about a second and a half over Barry, who's now got about a second and a bit over Sean. So the top 4 are starting to split away from the rest of the field. You've got 2 Williams cars sandwiching the 2 Ferrari powered cars, the Ferrari and the Haas in the middle there, and as they come up the hill towards the DRS zone again, it's now going to see if Jarno can set himself up. I think his best chance will be to see if he can close up here, get a good run out of turn the Senna and through the Curva de Sol, and do exactly what Michael did last lap and repass him down into turn 4. Already onto lap 5 at 36, so that is just flying by already, and Jarno doesn't look like he's close enough coming through the Curva de Sol to launch an attack. We'll see. He's going to start closing up quickly. Michael goes to the inside defensively a little bit there, but he is too far back, and he's going to have to think better of it and keep within that DRS range, because as soon as you drop out of it, that is pretty much going to leave him a sitting duck to the cars behind. Lap number 5, the top 4 pulling away. Speed Barry in 5th. Sean is in 6th place. He's starting to get a wee bit of train behind him with Clarkey, his FAP teammate Davidos in 8th, Eagle in 9th, Joclat in 10th, then Lucas still in 11th. He's out of DRS at the moment on the Ferrari ahead, and he's got the company of the Red Bull of Daniel in behind in 12th. Lap 5 of 36. I'm just having a look through the chat there because I think Demon's kept up with the penalties better than me, but plenty going on, Soup.
Yeah, absolutely. So Jarno trying to find a way past Michael. I'd say Lee's doing a sterling job to stick in with these 2 drivers right here, and also holding off the surging Williams of Roy coming up behind them as well. Having a look at Jarno now, he's been saving his ERS through that sector, but so is Michael, and you can see just unable to gain as much as he should be able to. Roy trying to find the run on Lee here, just trying to keep an eye on anybody moving. Just see Chocolate and Eagle going side by side to turn 1. Eagle's trying to make his way past. Don't think he's been able to do so, and they stick as they were. But the field is still really, really close together after 6 laps.
Definitely. So that was actually Joclat making a move on Eagle round the outside at CNS. We just caught the tail end of that as he went through. So that was actually a move for position by the Ferrari on the Haas, and that's moved him up into 9th position. A nice wee move round the outside as well, using the DRS to good advantage. But we're just going to look at the gaps here. Down to 13 for Slimbo, as it's still under 10 seconds covered in the field at the moment. The top 4 are covered by 1 second up front, so you can see them there now. We're back to them as they come through. Juncal, they are very close together, and Jarno is very close to the back of Michaels Williams here, and there's a very good chance we might see a move here down into the CNS. We're riding on board with the Ferrari. The Williams has gone defensive early, and he's not going to make a launch there. He's too good for that as Jarno, so he wants a good run through the CNS. Michael locked up through there as well, so can he get on the power? He's going to turn the ERS up, I'm sure here. He's going to have DRS available to him as well, and will we see any moves down into the Decido del Lago, turn number 4 on this lap? No, there will not be. In the background though, Curly Worley's retired from the session now, and not the ideal thing late in the session, and stuck with the default as well, so not good either. Hugo had posted in the chat, he's mentioned the reason why he's retired: wheel issues, same thing that happened to him in Bahrain all the way back in round 1, so not good there for the McLaren driver, and that means that Race Clutch are not going to score any more points in this event, because he was the only driver for them this evening.
Yeah, of course, I cannot believe how close these top 4 are. And the more they battle, the more speed bar he's able to just kind of nose his way closer, because he's just over a second behind them. Now let's see. Jarno's right up the chuff of Michael once again this lap. Can he get the run that he needs? Here we go down towards turn number 1 then. DRS open for the Ferrari. Is Michael going to defend? I'm sure he is. It's the race lead. Jarno with the slipstream coming down towards turn 1. He's going to have to go get some room on the inside. Ferrari on Williams action then. Jarno down the inside. Michael's going to have the run on the outside line though, but Jarno hangs it round the outside. He gets the move done. Lovely move for the Ferrari, and Lee might be able to get himself involved here. Michael will have DRS now. He comes to the outside of turn number 4 then. Michael trying to do what he did before. Can he hold each other down the inside then? Jarno's still on the inside as Williams. Roy makes the move on Lee behind, but Jarno's I think has made the move stick. Roy is through. They're side by side. What a great move from the Ferrari, and lots of position swapping. Roy is up to P3, and Jarno's into the lead the Brazilian Grand Prix. That
was some phenomenal driving from all 4 of them there. A great move by Jarno, getting down the inside, held it round the outside of turn 2, and got the run out of turn 3. Michael attacked into turn 4, but couldn't make it stick round the outside, and behind him his teammate Roy managing to get a move done on Lee Finlay and move himself up into 3rd, but they were side by side through turn 4 and heading up the hill towards Ferradura as well, so really close racing, but really respectful from all 4 of them. You did mention though, Speed Barry's now been dragged into this as well. He's right on the tail of Lee Finlay, and what this is doing as well, if you look behind Sean, Lee's retired. What's happened to the...
he's disconnected.
Oh, he's disconnected at the worst time possible. His car's now going to be ghosting. You can see they just jumped on board at the opportunistic time. I was just going to say, Sean and all of that are being dragged into this lead battle as well, because they're just pulling everyone along.
Cut across Andy, but Michael's coming at Jarno again round the outside. In the Williams, he's going to get it done this time. Jarno's going to stubbornly refuse to give him any room, but he actually does on the outside. At least somehow still holds on to that brilliant racing going on here as Michael tries to find some room for the hill. With Lee, I got a feel for him. Disconnect in P4, and he's dropping down the order like a stone. But this, of course, means that drivers are getting dragged into this battle. So Sean, about 1.2 behind these guys, are going to be maybe a 5 or 6 person battle for this lead.
Definitely so, and it's not going to be too long before we start seeing the pit stops from these guys in the top 10 started on the super soft tyres as well. It's going to not be far off of that now, but yeah, it's really dragging everyone into it. Don't know what's happening. He's disconnected out the lobby. Hopefully he can get back in control and try and score some points in this final race. Curly Worley mentioned his controller disconnected, so that's what dropped him out of the race. In the background down the field, Daniel's just got himself past Lee Finlay as well, who's ghosting. Lucas will be up as well, so it's not going to be far before Lee's down the order very quickly, so hopefully he can get back in very soon. But Michael looking like maybe he'll having a chance to go by Jarno into turn 4. He's not close enough on this occasion, no, and he has to think better of it. His teammate though now up into 3rd means that we've now got a Williams double team attack on the Ferrari up ahead as Lucas makes his way up to 8th past Dawidos as well, so he's making his way through through the order, and he's going to be later in the pits, remember, because he's on the soft tyres, he's not on the super softs, so we're going to see a later pit stop from the Toro Rosso. He could still drag himself into the race later on. Lap 10 of 36, coming up to 1/3 distance. Jarno leads from Michael and Roy, but you can see it on screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, all firing down the hill in Magulo and towards Juncal. Sean in 5th, just behind with Clarkey, Joclat, Lucas not far off at the back of these guys as well. Davidos and Daniel round out the top 10 as they head up the hill for the 10th time to start lap 11. Who's going to blink first and go into the pits? It's going to surely be in the next lap or two before we start seeing an influx of pit stops as they cross the line to start lap 11.
Yep, so we're expecting the stops to be around lap 11 or 12. I think Clarkey's trying to have a look at Sean for P5. Couldn't quite get it done at turn 1. So keep an eye and get it done into turn number 4 then. He's got to watch out for Chocolate behind him. And here he comes around the outside of turn 4. It's always hard to make it work. He hits his side pod a little bit. He's going to lose 2 positions. And Chocolate makes his way through. And now that'll let Lucas also close up a little bit as well. But this is what I'm going to make things interesting with the undercut-overcut situation. Because these guys are so close together, every second matters in the pit stops. And we're going to see some really intriguing pit exits, I think.
I think we're going to see some really... So I think we're going to see some 5-second stop goal penalties as they push it coming into pit lane, to be honest with you as well, where they'll try and gain every single tenth of a second that they can. But yeah, Clarkey dropping down there as you've seen as you were commentating along. Sean gave him the squeeze as he tried to go the long way around at turn 4, and that allowed Joclat to get through up into 6th place as well. Lucas is not far off the back, and Daniel got by Davidos in the background. Nobody's blinked yet in terms of the top 3. Barry has, and has Sean. So here's the pit stop phase started. I will follow the leaders because they're pretty much nose to tail, but 3 drivers in the pits. Barry, Sean and Clarkey are the first ones to blink, and we'll see what tyres they go on to. Meanwhile, Jarno still trying to hold off the advances of the 2 Williams drivers down the back straight one more time towards turn 4, but again just using these ERS very tactfully there is Jarno, and keeping the Williams boys behind arm's length just for now. Looking at the pit stops, where has Speed Barry came back out? He's in 11th place, is the Mercedes driver. He's now about 21 seconds off the lead, so around about 19 seconds, would we say, roughly, for a pit stop from in to out, would you think, Soup, roughly?
Yeah, I'd reckon so. So I think we're going to see the top 3 all come in line astern, and I think we're going to see probably Lucas take the lead momentarily as he's on the soft tyre, going a little bit longer than the rest of them. We're going to see Jarno peel into the pit lane now to put on a set of the medium tyres, unless I'm terribly mistaken, and he carries on and does something else. He's carrying on and does something else. But Michael blinks, so he's going for the undercut. So Michael is going to go onto the medium tyres then, and head to the pit lane, bolt on some new boots, and get on his way. But he's got to push on this next lap. So will Jarno. He's got to be pushing now, because he knows he's going to have to react to what Michael does. He's onto the medium compact tyres. Davidos is in as well. Chocolate is in as well. So it's now Jarno from Roy, from Lucas, from VP Daniel. So let's see what Jarno's doing here. He's pushing, and but he's got to also watch out for Roy behind him.
Definitely. So obviously the Williams boys, one of them had to go because they both can't pit, and they've been that close together, they'd be double stacking and be stuck. But Jarno's carried on for a lap. Michael has got back out and about a second clear of Speed Barry in 8th, so that's good for him. He's got out, he's not in DRS range of anyone behind. That's going to allow him to just concentrate on what's ahead. He's got 7 seconds to the next car, so he's got a bit of clean air to try and make this work. And I'm expecting these top 2 that we're watching coming up the hill to peel off into pit lane. I think it would be a bit crazy to carry on another lap or 2 with the way these tyres are likely to be going. They're going to slipstream into pit lane. Oh, Roy's carried on.
Roy's
okay,
carried on.
So that's an interesting. That's interesting indeed. So he carries on. Jarno in the pits for his pit stop. That puts Lucas up to 2nd. Daniel will move up to 3rd, and the H-Eagle now in 4th. Slimbo in 5th place, and that should maybe put Nardi. Yep, he'll move up to 6th. So where does Michael, who's coming across the line now, we're on board with him, where does he come out in regards to Jarno? We're on board with the Williams driver. We'll see where that Ferrari is. He's in pit lane. You can just catch him there on the left.
They're going to be side by side. I think Michael's going to get him. I think he's got him, and I think Barry's going to get him too. They're side by side. Barry's jumped him for P2 in this race. Unbelievable from the Mercedes.
Yeah, that's not worked out for Jarno there. So the undercut pitting earlier is actually stronger then in this phase of the race than the overcut. So staying out that extra lap did not work out for Jarno there. He's still behind Michael, but he's now lost a place to that man there in the Mercedes, a speed barrier for CPI. So that's not what he needed coming into that lap. Roy's coming up the hill just now. He's surely going to be in the pits this lap here. And looking at the stats, where's he going to drop out now? That's going to be an interesting one to see where he comes out. So Lucas goes into the lead. I'll put Daniel up in the second place, Eagle third, and Slimbo up to fourth. Nardi will go into fifth. Michael will move up to sixth, you'd imagine. And he is your race leader basically, as the top five now have not pitted. Where do we see the two boys coming out there? This is going to be close as well, definitely.
Oh, he almost loses it in the pit lane. That's not going to help him. Let's just see where he comes out. It's going to be tight with himself and Jarno here. They come side by side. I think Jarno's going to get ahead of him, and he does. It was that little mistake. He spun up the rear tyres, almost spun it, and that cost him just the maybe 2/10 that he needed to get out in front of Jarno, but he drops behind. But I tell you what, Barry's keeping Michael honest. He's not letting him go, and he's definitely got the pace.
Definitely so, and Sean's worked out quite nicely as well in this pit stop phase. He was one of the first three drivers to pit, and this has really dragged him back up because he's now right on the tail of Roy. And before the pit stop phase, he was actually about a second or so down. He was slowly catching as they fought, but he's now right on the back of the Williams. Ignore the fact that it looks like he's on super softs on screen. He is on the medium tyres just like everybody else that has pitted. Lucas, Daniel, Eagle into pit lane, Slimbo's in as well, so that's going to put Nardi into the lead of the race because he's on the medium tyres, having started on them, so he takes over the lead now for Vodafone Giants. Puts Michael up to second. Speed Barry with the fastest lap of the race. He's finding some really good pace here, is the Mercedes driver on these medium tyres. You can see there, that's Lucas coming out of pit lane in the background. We'll see where he comes out, so that could be quite interesting to see where he drops into the field. But Speed Barry trying to see if he can keep up with Roy, but he's still not close enough down the back straight. So Nardi leads, Michael now in second, Speed Barry in third, Jarno fourth, Roy in fifth, Sean in sixth. Lucas comes back out in seventh ahead of Clarkey, so that's worked out quite nicely for him. Clarkey in eighth, Chocolate in ninth, and Dawados round out the top 10. The only driver still to pit then is your race leader Nardi, who started on the medium tyres.
Yep, so Lucas coming out in a nice position actually. He's just about a second behind Sean, so technically he's fighting for the tail end, well, kind of the top 5 positions here. So he's done really well coming from the back of the grid to get himself into this position. So he's going to be in a fight with Sean and Roy here. And if he can find the pace, he could maybe see if he can drag himself up to Jarno. But Jarno's, I think, managed to switch on the medium tyres. But I think, is Barry going to have a go at Michael? Up towards turn 1, Jarno says fast after. Here he goes for the lead of the race. He's going to dive down the inside. Michael just needs enough room. But now Barry will have the run on the way out to Senna S, so I think he's going to have him easily into turn 4 here. Here comes Barry then. Michael will hold the outside line. I don't think he's even defending because he knows the overspeed of the DRS, and Speed Barry takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. I don't think we expected that one.
No, definitely not at this point in the stage. It was a bit of a late lunge into turn number 1. Michael did see it coming, left him the space, but Barry takes over the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. It's dragged Jarno right onto the back of the Williams as well. Roy's sitting not too far off the back either, so he'll try to close back up. Sean's attacking him, and Lucas is within DRS range on Sean as well, so he's really dragged himself into this race also. So it's going to be a great finish here. As we go into we're now halfway through the race now. Lap 17 of 36, absolutely flying by here at Interlagos. Nardi here crossing the line is your race leader, but he's still to pit yet. And Barry finding some brilliant speed on these medium tyres in terms of lap pace, because he was setting the fastest lap of the race as well. That has been stolen by Jarno on a 1 minute 9.6, but for a couple of laps in a row, Barry was in the fastest lap of the race, back to back, as Chocolat goes round the outside again on another driver. This time it's on Clarkey's Renault. That's the second time he's done that in the race already, so he really seems to like that late braking round the outside of turn 1 and the inside for turn 2, so he's really enjoying that move, and he's now up into 8th place. But I think this is anybody's. We could have about a 4-5 way scrap for the win here, possibly even more than that.
Yeah, just to explain, you're seeing 6 cars on your screen right now. All of these guys are fighting for the race win, and this is the last round. So nobody's really, within respect, they're not going to care whether they crash or not. They're just going for glory at this stage. With speed barring from Michael, from Jarno, from Roy, from Sean, and Lucas has dragged himself from the back of the grid into the fight for the race win. Absolutely brilliant, and I think he's going to have a pop at Sean here. He's got a great run out of the last corner. Sean will have DRS as well, but Lucas, I think, has just got the overspeed and the run. What's he going to do? He's going to have to come to the outside. Look at the great straight line speed in that Alfa Romeo. Lucas gets the fast lap, switch to the inside. For the Scotsman, they make contact through turn 1. Sean will have the run on the inside line, but of course that will compromise his run on the exit of the Senna S. So here comes Lucas once again with the DRS on the inside line for turn 4. Up ahead, Sean gives him the squeeze to the inside, but Lucas has got the move done. He's into what is essentially P5, and let's see if he can bridge that gap up to Roy and get himself right into the fight for the podium and the win.
That switchback at the last minute was unbelievable. Bit of contact between front wheel and side pod, but none damage there, and it was an easy run out of turn 3 and got the move done. Sean squeezed him as far as he could. Last time I seen a car get squeezed down there, it was 1994, Eddie Irvine on Jos Verstappen, and it caused a 4-car pile-up. So we've thankfully never seen that this time round. But Barry's 7/10 at the moment on Michael. He's showing good speed here as the Mercedes driver, and Michael's got the attentions of Jarno behind him, and Jarno's a lot closer to Michael than Michael is to Barry, so you got to think maybe we kind of didn't think about Speed Barry at the start of this race as being a contender for the win. He dropped down the order in the early stages with a bad start, but he's leading this race outright on pace. He's absolutely doing a brilliant job at the moment.
Yeah, nailed the strategy, and he's put himself in a great position, and he's holding off some of the toughest guys in the business. He's got Michael, he's got Jarno, he's got Roy, and he's got Lucas behind them. So he's soaking up the pressure really, really well. But of course, we still have 17 laps to run, so he's still got to hold them back for the rest of the race, which is going to be, I think, a really, really tall order because these guys are so equal on pace. It's going to be hard to pull the gap that he needs.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, one thing as well, although it's only a lap or two, Barry went onto his tyres before those guys behind him. So he's done 8 laps, coming up to 9 laps now, as Roy gets really close to the back of Jarno's Ferrari there, coming through Juncal. But 8 laps, Nardi pits from the lead of the race, so he's finally into pit lane, so this is now officially the race for the lead as we expected.
Michael's having a go into turn 1, he's got the speed, and he's going to retake Brilliant Grand Prix lead, easy as you like, and takes it straight up the inside into turn number 1. Now, does Barry have the run on him through the Senna S's? He's got the DRS. Can he come back at Michael? He's going to have to think about coming back, and he's going to have a little lunge down the inside. Now he's going to be sensible, hold behind. Always runs to the back of him there, but being really sensible. But Michael back in the lead once again. I think we're going to see a lot of this, swapping positions.
Yeah, definitely. So we caught that move from Roy's perspective there, as I tried to filter through the cameras and ended up with Nardi in pit lane for a split second. Apologies for that, didn't quite expect it to go like that, but we did see it, and thankfully we seen it from the point of view of Roy, who had a box office seat off that move, and brilliant stuff once again. Thought Speed Barry might take a go into the Decido del Lago into turn number 4, but he thought better off it, and you know, discretion is the better course of valour, or something is how they say it, I think. But my literature ain't too great these days, unfortunately. So Michael leads, Barry in second, Jarno in third, Roy fourth. You can see Lucas onto the back of Roy nearly now as well. He's in DRS range too. Sean's hanging on to them as well in fifth. Lovely overhead shot as they head down towards the Senna S for the first time. It's not for the first time, 22nd time. Oh goodness, I'm wanting to do it all over again already, Soup. But he's 6 are clear of anyone else. Next nearest car is Chocolat, who's 4.7 seconds down on Sean in 6. So the top 6 have pulled away as Nardi's just gone round the outside there. A Slimbo just caught the end of that through the Senna S. He's on those fresh soft tyres, so expect to see him make his way up through the field a little bit towards the tail end of the points. But as much as I try and go through the field where I can, we need to stick with this battle up front, because 6 cars in the train for the lead of the race. I don't care what console or gaming platform you're on, I don't care what league it is, this is what you want to see. 6 of the best. Oh, Barry's round! Contact! I don't know. I don't know if it was contact there with Jarno, or if he just spun on his own and Jarno gave him a little nudge to help him along. But Barry is around just as I'm saying about how good things have been, and that's such a shame to see. But yeah, I wonder if there's damage anywhere to that Mercedes. We'll just try and see quickly before we jump back to the front. Front wing looks okay. Not quite sure. Do you see what happened there? Because it looked like he might have spun it on his own and got a nudge from Jarno afterwards, but it's hard to tell from where we were. Did you see anything better?
I couldn't quite tell, but it looks like he just dropped it on his own. But of course, that's let Lucas into P4, and look, he's really carrying the back of Roy now. So from starting from 15th on the grid, fighting for currently what is 3rd place, but just about a second up the road is the race lead. So this is an incredible drive from the Scotsman today. Sean Van Belkom up behind him as well. I didn't expect him to see him fighting for the lead. My favourite alcoholic of all time is in P5, and he's doing an excellent job there. For FAP Esports, but I think if this is the way you wanted to round out a season, I think this is certainly the way you'd want it to. Brazil, 5 cars fighting for the race lead.
Definitely so, and just to show you how good Lucas has done after that disqualification in qualifying, biggest gainer obviously in the race, 11 places from his starting position for the Toro Rosso driver. No one else is close to that. Biggest loser is 11 places for Lee Finlay, who they've just lapped again, but he's ghosting connection issues. He hasn't been able to get back in, unfortunately for him. So away from that, the biggest loser is Barry, down 2 places after that spin there. Noticing in here you got more fans in the chat, Soup, so they're really enjoying you being here tonight, my friend. But some brilliant stuff going on, and Sean is doing well to stick onto them. Lucas, though, looks like he might fancy a chance at Roy into turn 4. Can he get close enough? But Roy has the DRS as well. That's going to help him to defend, but Sean is hanging on to them. I know Sean pretty well, the Dutchman, a F2 champion last season in season 16 that I was commentating on, and he's had a few critics before, but he is a very quick driver on his day, and I do think he's improving that driving style a little bit, bit by bit, and that's good to see as well, because he got quite a lot of critics last season in season 16, but he's hanging on to some of the best in the business, as you say, Soup, as he comes down Magulo one more time. 5 of them in a line, sort of separated by just under 2 seconds. This is brilliant stuff.
Yeah, what more could you want, really? And Jarno's closed the gap to Michael as we were just talking there. So Jarno's really got the measure of him, I think. But of course, it's just so hard when you get into a certain space. It's really hard to close up the gap. So you can only go so far, and then it's just you're so equal on pace, you can't really get any further. So I think Jarno's just going to bide his time and see where Michael is weaker, if he is weaker anywhere else. That is, Nardi sets the fast lap of the race. He's down in P12 outside the points. But yeah, 5 cars in a line, lap 25 to 36. We have another 11 laps of this to go, so don't go anywhere. Definitely not. Trying to keep an eye on the battles through the field, because Davidos has got Clarkey, Eagle and Daniel behind him in a bit of a train as well, so that's 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. Joklat's managed to clear away from the from the Salba driver, having got by him a few laps ago, so that's a battle developing there as Eagle looked to go up the inside into turn number 8, locked up, avoided the back of Clarkey's Renault. He'll think another day, but I do think the top 4 will be kind of just, they know each other quite well, they've raced each other many times obviously as well, and I do think at this point they'll just be taking it a bit easy, saving up the battery a little bit, doing just enough to stay ahead and stay close enough. I think they're just starting to measure each other a little bit, and in the next lap or two we might see a bit of action, but then again Lucas might fancy doing something, because I thought he's going for a late one up the inside. Can he get the move done? His little touch of the wheels on the inside, but Roy holds the position. He locked up, there was just enough room, but now Lucas fancies the run down the back straight towards turn number 4. Roy goes to the inside, leaves him a car's whiff on the right. He goes for the drive again. He's all over the back of that Williams. He is filling the mirrors up, and Sean behind has got an absolute box office seat for this one as they come up the hill again. Just as I think they're trying to maybe calming down for a few laps, Lucas completely lights it up there into turn 1. He's trying to gain into turn 8. He's really trying to torment Roy at the moment. He's filling the mirrors of that Williams. Yeah, he's got to be careful he doesn't do it too much though, because Sean will just pick up the pieces behind. But Lucas Blake did the king of the dummies, trying to pull a fast one on Roy here, but Roy was having none of it. Held it around the outside, did really well there, but you can see Jarno absolutely harrying the back of Michael through the last corner there. I think we might see a move for the race lead here. Michael, I think, knows it. He's going defensive already. Down towards turn 1, he's holding the inside line. Jarno's going to have to go to the outside if he wants this one towards turn number 1 then. Jarno sweeps it round the outside in the Ferrari. Can he get it done? I think he's going to be able to. He does. So Jarno takes the race lead with 10 laps left to run. But Michael's going to come straight back at him, I think, with the DRS around the outside of turn number 4 there. Box office seats in the helicopter shots for myself.
There we go.
Jarno's going to stick it back up the inside there. They're still side by side in turn 4 into turn 5. They're still going at it here. Up the hill, one of them's going to have to yield. I don't know who's going to have to yield. I think it's going to have to be Jarno, and Michael's going to hold it. But somehow Jarno's sweeping it around the outside somehow. On the outside line there. Oh, and he's still there somehow after all that, but I think Michael's just enough ahead. No, he sticks his nose in again a little bit, but Michael somehow holds on there. What a brilliant battle between those two, and we still have 10 more laps.
Oh, that was absolutely brilliant. They were side by side for half of that lap there. Absolutely brilliant stuff. There was a little bit of a touch, it looked like, when he went round the outside, just caught the rear wheel and the front wheel of Michael, but nothing too damaging. But Michael manages to hold on through turn number 4. But look at them now, they're in a huge train. Lucas is going to line up as well. I don't know who to follow, so we're going to try and follow them all as best we can. Jarno's going to the outside. Is Lucas going to try and make a move as well? Side by side through the CNS. Jarno round the outside, a bit more cleaner this time, and he's got a better run out. But will Michael fancy a move back down the back straight? He's got DRS to help him. All 5 of them going across the track, following each other. Look out for Lucas in the background. Michael round the outside into turn 4. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. His teammates in there trying to stick his nose in as well, and Lucas has basically got a brilliant seat for this, as does Sean, who fancies picking up. Hey, if this ends up in a big crash, Sean's in a good position here at the moment. You never know what's going to happen here, but this is amazing stuff. We have got the top 5 in this race, nose to tail. They have been ever since the pit stop phase, and this is just absolutely brilliant to watch for the last race. What a way to round out this Team Esports event. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Lap 28.36 down through Magulo for another time, up towards Juncal. It looks like Jarno's managed to just get enough of a gap at the moment on Michael to just avoid, being dragged back in under DRS. Lucas is right behind Roy though. He is right on the back end of the Williams. Roy's going to have to use his teammate for assistance here. Let's see if the dummy man decides to throw it up the inside one more time. Is he going to do it? He's going late. Yes, he does. Up the inside, side by side. Absolutely no contact by the looks of it at all, but he has to back out of it, and now Sean is going to have an absolutely brilliant run on Lucas down the back straight towards turn number 4. We're watching from the rear off the Toro Rosso, and you can see Sean there. He's having to duck and dive as Lucas, and Sean's having to hold on, and it stays as you were. Brilliant stuff one more time. This is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I don't mean to be kind of optimistic, but these guys keep battling. Barry's 1.9 behind, so he could close up to this.
He definitely could.
After the spin he had earlier.
Yeah, yes, it's definitely true. And the thing is as well, I've just dropped back through the field. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th are basically doing a mirror image down the field. They're basically nose to tail as well. Clarky, Davidos, Eagle, Nardi and Daniel. So we've got 1 to 5 and 8 to 12 nose to tail through this field at the moment. Unbelievable. Look at that though. Roy's dropped off. Has he got something? Is that wing damage? No, it's not. It's just the angle. Sorry, it's just the angle. The light there. I thought it damaged, but yeah, definitely so. Michael looking.
He's vulnerable, and Lucas is going to have him down the inside of the Senna S's, but Roy's going to do what he did before, hang around the outside, stubbornly refuse, but he gets a penalty for his trouble from trying to hold on versus Lucas. And up ahead you can see the battle rages on for the race lead as Michael tries to find a way through past Jarno, but Lucas is going to have Roy down the inside. There's going to be more contact, but I think Lucas is going to have him this time, shoves him out wide. Can Sean Van Belka pick up the pieces now? Roy trying to get himself in a position so he can defend, and he thinks he'll be able to do that up the hill. But now, Lucas, 1.6 behind the race lead battle. Can he potentially steal an amazing victory here?
We've just, just went back to the other battle down the field. Davidos had got by Clarky into turn 4, and Clarky just up the inside into Ferradura, that fast right-hander at the top of the hill, and stole the place back. So these guys are having just as big as a fight as the guys up front are. But we'll jump back to the lead pair just now, who have broke away out out of DRS now on the guys behind, so Michael can concentrate on attacking Lucas all on his own without having to defend. Is he going to be close enough for a dive here into the center ice? He's not going to do it on this occasion. Where is Roy on Lucas? He's not close enough either, so trying to jump away through the field and between the cars as much as I can. That 31 of 36.
God! Gnarly with a huge dive bomb trying to take 2 cars into turn 1. Didn't quite work out for him. But these guys are going really hammer and tongue for, like, what is this, 8th place?
8th place, yeah, and the Eagles just sneaked up the insides. We caught the end of that, so Nardi trying to take 2 places, gets one of them, and Davidos goes back pretty quickly. Daniel's going to try and stick his nose up the inside. Eagle, Davidos and Daniel, they know each other well from season 16 and F2 as well, so they know each other very well. But yeah, Nardi, we just missed the end of that, unfortunately, just caught it there at the end, but throwing one up the inside. Lucas trying to see if he can hold off right, trying to see if he can get back into DRS range as quickly as he can as well, because as I say, the top 2 have checked out at the moment, and I think Michael might just fancy a wee bit of a move up into the CNIS possibly, because he is very close. He's closing even more now as he opens the DRS on the rear wing. We cross the line to start lap 32, 36. Will he move up? He's going to look to the inside, fill in the mirrors of the Ferrari, but he's going to back out of that move and try and follow him through as much as he possibly can do. Follow Nardi's just going by on Clarkey as well into the CNS with DRS. You can see Davidos fighting as well, but we need to come back to the front because going into turn 4, here goes Michael up the inside on Jarno. Can he get the move done? Side by side to go, but no, the Ferrari holds on once again. Good defensive driving. Michael fancied his chances into turn 4, but Jarno saying no can do and holds on to the position. This is absolutely brilliant. I'm losing my breath. Going to take over, Soup.
I can't wipe the smile off my face, honestly. This is incredible racing. But the more they battle, you've got to remember, Lucas is lurking, and he's ready to pick up the pieces should these two have it coming together. But we've actually only got 4 laps left to run, unfortunately. But I think that's going to even up the intensity a little bit for these guys. They know they haven't got a lot of opportunities. And Lucas, is he in DRS? Yes! He is. Now we've got a fight on our hands.
Definitely so. We just seen there Daniel and Davidos fighting through the infield section. Not normally seeing cars side by side through there, but those two are going at it. Hammer and tong. Michael up the inside into the centre ice, but again, Jano's just got the line there, holds him off, parks it a little bit so he can get the best line out of the corner, and he managed to go through. But now Michael's got a brilliant run on the Ferrari. He's going to go to the inside. This should be a pretty easy move for. He's got it done well before the break-ins on DRS, really helping him. And Michael puts himself back into the lead of the race where he started, remember, as he started on pole position, and he's now back up into the front. That was Clarkey picking up a penalty there down the field. Penalties I've tried my best to keep up with, but there's far too much going on. But out of the top 5, Sean and Roy are the only 2 with 3 seconds at least, so those guys are 4th and 5th. It's not going to make much difference in their fight, but it will promote Barry up 2 places at the moment if it finishes like this. Look at Jarno though, down the hill in the June Cow. He is right on the back there of the Williams. He's basically doing a NASCAR push job through the corners, and Lucas there now is fancying, he's sniffing a win from the back of the grid, so he is. Here we go, lap 33 complete, 34, 3 to go, including the one they are now on. Jarno, will he go up the inside into the CNS? No, he does not. Lucas had a wee look there, filling the mirrors.
Oh, Lucas has kind of punted Jarno a little bit there, and Jarno's got a penalty. That's going to ruin his chances of the race win, but that's going to promote Lucas into P2, and Lucas now knows he's got a real shot at this. I don't know how he managed to close up a second in a lap. He's caught massively in that, but he's used up a lot of ERS. But Jarno, unfortunately, just ran a tiny touch wide, and that's just given him that 3-second penalty with 2 laps left to run. So is that it? Let's see.
Well, we will soon see. I'm sure Jarno will still fight, because any good driver will still want to be the one to say, I crossed the line first. Davidos has left the session, which is a shame in his fight down in 12 with Daniel, so it's going to drop him off of that little train, which is broke up now as Nardi and Eagle managed to pull away. But Jan will still want to cross the line first. They want to say, I got across the line before anyone else, even if he loses out due to penalties. And here we go, so penultimate lap of what has been an absolutely fantastic race. I'm the same as you. I can't wipe the smile off my face. Here go, I'm looking at Lucas though, because I fancy him to make a move here. We know he fancies a bit of a late move, likes it late on the brakes, and they're nose to tail down the hill through the Senna S. Roy's dropped off a little bit, but he's still within DRS. Sean's dropped 2 seconds off, so he's well down now. Jarno looking left, looking right, looking left again. Michael goes to the inside. Jarno round the outside. Can he hold it? Through the turn 4, up the hill towards turn 5. He's unbelievable. On the second last lap of the race, he's got it done.
Lucas around the outside of turn 7. No way, he cannot do that there. Hanging around the outside of turn number 5. If he can pull this off, that's the move of the season right there. Lucas on the inside. How has he pulled that one off? Lucas Blakely, take a bow for that one. Unbelievable.
Wow! Up the hill through Ferradura and then holds it round turn 8 and turn 9 as well. And Lucas has put himself up into what is currently, remember, the net lead with Jarno's penalty. So he's come from the back of the grid to this at the moment, and he's possibly going to take his second win in a row. He's third off this esports team event season, and he's going to do it from the back of the grid possibly after being disqualified in qualifying. But here we go, final lap. A phenomenal race. Jarno leads, Lucas in second, Michael and Roy for the Williams team third and fourth, Sean in fifth, Barry's not too far off as well, and there's going to be penalties involved, at least for Sean, Roy and Jarno out front. That's going to make a difference as they cross the line, so keep an eye on the standings as they come across the line in about, what, 40 seconds time roughly, heading up to Ferradura one more time. I think Lucas is going to be happy to try and sit there if he can hold off. How is his battery level? Let's have a look at that. It's 19, so it's pretty low, but so is Michael's.
They're all saving ERS at this point. I don't think it's going to be too much of hassle for Lucas, but what an incredible race. Lucas has come from, let's just check where he came from. It was 15th on the grid, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 15th on the grid. Lucas is going to come through. Well, you're going to watch Jarno first. It's the last round of the AOR Esports team tournament. It's going to go to Jarno on track, but unfortunately he's got a 3-second time penalty, which is going to ruin his chances. Jarno across the line in P1, but Lucas Blakely is going to win the Brazilian Grand Prix in stunning fashion with some amazing overtaking. Sean takes P5, it's going to be Michael in P2, Jarno P3, Roy in P4, Choco in P6, Nardi in P7, and then we have Speed Barry all the way down in P8, Clarky P9, and Daniel Alves takes the final point. LMD Eagle, unfortunately, Slimbo still no points for those guys, but it's going to be no points at all in that series, and Davidos, unfortunately, he disconnected during that.
Towards the end,
Lucas Blakely, what can you say? What a drive.
Unbelievable. He was P4 at the time in qualifying that he got disqualified. He ended up starting 15th, not exactly last, because obviously Curly Wurley joined in. He was 16th, so from 15th on the grid, Lucas has made it 3 wins out of 9 in the season, 2 in a row, as he won last week at the Circuit of the Americas. And from pretty much the back of the grid, your winner of the final round on the PS4 is Lucas. Jarno saying in the chat, nah, I won that. Well, he did cross the line in first, but a 3-second time penalty did take it away. But you never know, obviously, depending on how things are. There is a steward's room, you never know what could happen. So, to, as I always say, to use the wording of my good friend Kieran McGinley, here is your official, unofficial results. Lucas wins from Michael in second, Jarno in third with that 3-second time penalty, Roy fourth, Sean fifth, Chocolat in sixth, Nardi in seventh, Speed Barry down to 8th with penalties, Clarky 9th, Daniel rounds out the top 10 with VP Gaming, H Eagle in 11th, Slimbo in 12th, Davidos 13th, but he wasn't in control of the car at the end. Lee Finlay had a disconnection when he was up in the top 4 as well. He could have been in that battle as well, which is such a shame. So he's 14th but wasn't in control of the car. Curly Wurley retired, connection issues with his controller, and Hugo had a connection issue with his wheel early door. That's what dropped him out. Got to give a shout, as I always like to do, to Lucas, Michael, Chocolat and Nardi, the only drivers to pick up no penalties at all in the race, and that's something I always like to point out, because I know full well from trying, it's a blooming hard thing to do when you're going that fast.
Yeah, it is indeed. Obviously, after all that, things could change in the stewards' room. We could see some stewards' inquiries, but for now, you cannot take away what an incredible race that was. Those guys, top 5, inseparable through the entire race. Separated about a second and a half for the entire race, even after pit stops. Nobody drove off into the distance. But unfortunately, that's the end of the AOR Esports team tournament, the qualifying rounds anyway. So the teams who have qualified will be going into a live final. So good luck to all of them who have qualified, and it's going to be the big stage for those guys now.
Definitely so. And you know what? It's a good point, actually. Alvaro Macia in the chat just pointed out as well. Nardi came from P14 to finish 7th. And he started on the medium tyres as well, so both the Vodafone Giant boys coming from the back of the field. Tremendous stuff from them, so well done pointing that one out to us there, Alvaro, because I completely missed that with everything going on up front. But that's been amazing. Based on what we know at the moment, your qualifiers from the PS4 side of things is Williams Esport, S2V, Vitality and Vodafone Giants. But of course, that may change because I know, for example, as I mentioned earlier, Williams are also competing in the PC side of things, and you can only qualify once, and they are in the top 3 for that as well. So keep an eye on the Apex Online Twitter page. That will bring up to date with what's going on once everything has been confirmed and announced. It'll also announce when the live event is, because that's something that we're hoping to hear very, very soon, which is going to be an absolute brilliant event. If it's anything like this, if it's anything like this, book the night off that it's on, sit yourself down with some snacks and enjoy the action, because if it's like this, it's going to be an absolute belter. Soup, I must say, absolute pleasure commentating alongside you. Thank you very much for joining me this evening as well. I don't think we could have had a better race, to be honest.
I haven't done AOR F1 in ages, and that's what I wanted to come back to. Yeah, but Andy, pleasure commentating alongside your good self. First time we've done it. First commentary, I think that was pretty good.
Definitely, so I'll take that. But that is it from us here this evening. Thank you very much to everyone who joined us during the stream. Thank you for the sticking with us after the little issue during qualifying. Considering what we just seen, I'm really glad that I reset things, because can you imagine if I had a bad stream when that action going on? Holy mollies. But for myself, Andy, for Soup, for all the drivers and everyone involved at Apex Online Racing, thank you very much for joining us this evening. Don't forget, there's action all across the week here on AOR's YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified every time that we go live. But that is it for this evening. Thank you very much. Until next time, we will see you again soon. Ta-ra.